Cancer, this is your week ahead astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation from Born Without Boundaries. In this video, we go over the weekly planetary aspects and transits and how they impact your natal sun and what that means for your bottom line. You don't need to know any kind of sophisticated positioning. All you need to know is when your birth date is. But I will admit it's a lot more accurate of a reading if you know at exactly which degree your natal sun sits in the zodiac sign of Cancer. We're going to start out really, really broad and those things that everybody should be talking about. And then we're going to focus down into those Cancer specific things. And then we'll break it down into the decans. And a decan is a group of 10 degrees. Each zodiac sign is a total of 30 degrees. And so each zodiac sign has 3 decans. We break it down into units of 10 degrees because it's that 10 degree kind of toggle room that makes or breaks an aspect. An aspect is the relationship that the angles between two planets form. So angles are everything. Everything in astrology is based on geometry. So you have to know the angles, and it's within that 10 degree kind of space that you either have the aspect or you don't. So really what you'll find is that there are very dynamic differences between different people in the same zodiac sign because of where their natal sun sits. So once again, you don't have to know exactly where your natal sun sits. It's best to get a natal chart, especially if you love astrology. That's the perfect place to start. And you can get them for free online. You need your birth date, which you already have, your birth time, and your birth location, because it is a 3-dimensional. It is the time that you were born. The month that you were born tells us the zodiac sign that you're in. The time that you were born tells us the location of all the planets, and then everything tells us the location of the planets, and then the place that you were born will help us determine where your houses are. So anyway, it's a great place to start. Let's start really broad here, Cancerians. The big stuff. So there's a full moon in Sagittarius this week, and all full moons directly impact you. Moons in Sagittarius are fun and playful and do not like to be confined. And so full moons in Sagittarius, really think of it as busting out of the chains. You're not going to feel comfortable. It's going to point out those things where you really feel confined, where you really feel has put a strain on you because they've constrained you or restricted you somehow, and you really want to bust out of that. It's also, this full moon is also trying to Chiron, so there's a lot of healing that's going to be involved. Maybe go outside of comfort zones that you haven't been able to go outside of in a long time because you have been scared or worried about something. We also have a transit. Venus right now is in Cancer, but she's going to transit into Leo on the 5th of this month. So between the 3rd and the 4th, depending on where you are on the globe, we're going to have the full moon. And then on the 5th, Venus transits into Leo. Venus in Leo is a lot less harmonious than Venus in Cancer. Venus tends to really like being in Cancer. Venus in Leo is definitely high maintenance. She could be very diva-esque and a little bit shallow, though she's extremely loyal and loves to show love through giving attention and lots of affection, though she can be sort of spendthrifty and show-offy. It isn't the easiest position for Venus to be in, and we'll talk about that if it impacts your natal sun. But the thing that really makes it extreme, because I wouldn't call Venus in Leo terrible, but Venus is going to be in opposition to Pluto as soon as it reaches as soon as it goes into Leo. So Pluto is at 0 degrees Aquarius, and then Venus will hit 0 degrees Leo on the 5th. But even before then, Cancer 3s, you're going to be feeling this opposition, this breakdown of funds, breakdown of just constant tension and stress with regards to, am I worthy? Am I valuable? It could even create a breakthrough momentum for you. It doesn't have to necessarily be bad, but it will be intense, and you will definitely feel that. Jupiter continues to be square to Pluto this week, which intensifies everything. And Venus is also square to Jupiter while it's in opposition to Pluto. So this is kind of extreme, like over the top, diva-esque kind of taking things to the extreme. It's not the best time to buy big things or make, large purchases. It's not the best time to style your hair, do your hair differently. Venus is kind of deconstructing to reconstruct again. So it is time to sort of, how can I remake myself or my quality and my value systems? This is an interesting conversation. Another thing that we have this week is Mercury conjuncts Uranus, which it just did because it was in retrograde, but now it's direct and it's going to conjunct Uranus. And that's a really interesting combination that's going to affect a certain group of you, especially. I just think it's like intense conversations, strange conversations, unique conversations, saying things that you've never said before, thinking things you've never thought before, those thoughts popping up into your head that they've never been there before. You could very well surprise yourself with what you say or what you hear from somebody, surprising messages, surprising information, or surprising distribution of technology. There could be sort of an announcement of some sort. So this is interesting. Let's go into the moon, shall we? Always know where your moon is. Cancer, get a moon calendar. I know, I should sell them, right? But I don't. And a lot of people do, though. And so please, please, please get yourself a moon calendar. It's so important for Cancerians to have. So we have the moon this week. This is the week of June 2nd to the 8th, 2023. The moon is going to travel between Scorpio and Aquarius. It is going to be full when it reaches Sagittarius. Let's get into it. So I kind of wrote down the step-by-step. On June 2nd, there's an opposition to the Mercury conjunction to Uranus. Now, it is not a perfect conjunction yet, so I still think it's close enough. This could be some surprising news that irritates you, or some defects when it comes to almost like your own Mercury retrograde, but twice as intense because Uranus is involved. That kind of energy around the 2nd, be wary. Between the 3rd and the 4th, depending where you are on the globe, is the full moon in Sagittarius. And Cancerians, especially those born mid-Cancer season, are quincunx to this. It's going to be very frustrating energy. Maybe frustrating because you can't change what you want to change, or you're tired of being where you are, or you want to expand and grow. Maybe you're sick of traveling so much. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. It is trine to Chiron, though, so there's a healing process there. By the 5th, the moon is going to trine Jupiter. So that could be a really nice day on June 3rd. Just a sense of harmony that comes after kind of a shit show. But it's not done yet. On June 6th, the moon is going to trine Mercury and Uranus. So that means anything frustrating that came out before, surprising elements, are going to harmonize and kind of find this beautiful sense of stride in yourself, and curiosities that actually can help you grow and expand, and knowing what to do with the information. And then we have on the 7th, the moon is going to be conjunct Pluto. So it's going to be early on June 7th that it's conjunct Pluto. Early during the day over here in the States. So early, I would say in the morning around 1 a.m. or 12 midnight or something like that. It's going to be conjunct Pluto and opposite Venus. So this is going to intensify, especially for Cancer 3s, those of you born at the end of Cancer season, but I think for all of us, because the moon is involved, this sense of it's very emotional, very dramatic, and very intense, especially could be driven by finances or something in your love life. Just an FYI, that's June 7th. Let's get into the decans. So if you're born between if your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Cancer, you are Cancer 1s. In terms of birth dates, this is usually the June Cancerian. So anyone born between, let's say, the 22nd and the 30th of June is a Cancer 1. Definitely those of you born on the Gemini cusp. Your natal sun has been and will be for a while trine to the south node and sextile to the north node. So your life is all about moving forward, harmonizing with the past, feeling good about leaving it behind, knowing who you are, and finding opportunities for your future, like wanting the future set of your the future version of yourself to take the lead. You're also sextile to Jupiter, which is kind of be one of the most blessed arrangements in astrology. So this is a really lucky time, fortunate time, an abundant time for you as you expand and grow, or especially as you expand and grow toward your future self or working on your future. You have long-term aspects. That's for the next couple of weeks. But long-term aspects, if you're on the very cusp between Cancer and Gemini, you are also square to Neptune, which means even though life is going good, this doesn't negate the other stuff. It's a sense of you could sort of be very just easily distracted or believe your instincts and intuition to the point of not asking for any facts. And people could really pull the wool over your eyes, or you could just be wrong and not know it because it makes sense in La La Land. So just watch out for that kind of fantastical thinking that the universe seems to want to suck you into for the next couple of years. It's going to be there because Neptune doesn't move fast. It's a very creative time, though. I got to say, if you find a creative outlet for that energy, it'll actually help to channel that energy so it doesn't distract you so much. You also have a long-term transit to Saturn. Once again, this is a trine to Saturn, so it's very good for your career. I would say over the next year, very, very great like advancements with your career. You also have a quincunx to Pluto, which is a tough energy, bumps in the road, intense. Maybe in order to make changes in your life, you have to be pushed to the limit, or frustration itself is what's going to lead you to finally be able to close one door and walk through another. Let's go on to Cancer 2s. So Cancer 2s, you include me. My birthday's July 6th. So Cancer 2s, this is if your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Cancer. Basically between, I would say, the 31st or the 1st through the 10th of July is Cancer 2s. For example, my birthday is July 6th, and my natal sun is located at 14 degrees Cancer. So just so that you know about the relationship, I am estimating though, just so that you know, but it's about you guys. Long term, so you guys are the ones that are going to be quincunx to the Sagittarius full moon. This is kind of frustration, but it's almost like good frustration because it's leading you to push through and do something that you really need to do. It's like change your environment. Maybe go foreign, go reach outside your comfort zone. Something frustrating could be with foreign affairs if you're in deal with them, or just a sense of irritation or agitation around the full moon for you. And you have a long-term square to Chiron, and boy, what a son of a bitch it is. It really is a son of a bitch. This is just kind of hardship, right? That's kind of what it is. It's hardship getting in your way, challenges, especially with your physical self, maybe changes with your physical self, discomforts in the body, aches and pains. Boy, I'll tell you. This transit has been something else. I actually got surgery 3 years back, almost 4 years back now. It's not been the greatest of transits, and Cancer 2s have been getting the crap for quite some time. Now Chiron is actually going to pull out of Cancer 2 by I think the end of this year because it's already at 18 degrees Cancer, but it has been really riddling our bones is all I can say, and it's just a pain in the you-know-what. So take it in stride. Take it in stride. It's not going to destroy you. Hopefully it'll teach you. This week, on the 4th or by the 4th, our natal suns, or through the 4th, our natal suns are going to be sextile to Mercury. So this is good news, or valuable or progressive communication, thought process, talking, speaking. It's a very short transit, but it could be highly effective, especially if you're going to be taking tests, clarity of mind, if you're going to be interviewing or talking to somebody, representing yourself. This is clarity, and I like this energy, especially since Mercury has that interaction with Uranus, making you that much more bright and brilliant. And you could surprise yourself this week, Cancer 2s, or surprising news that comes through. But because we have that sextile to Mercury, if it's up to the 4th, I'm gonna say it could be good news that surprises you. So we have Cancer 3s now. So Cancer 3s are about the last 10 days or so, of Cancer season. So maybe from July 11th through the 21st. This is for those of you whose natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Cancer. You guys are going to get the conjunction to Venus. And those of you who are born on the Leo cusp, you'll experience this all week. So if you're like the 20th, 21st of July, Venus is going to be conjuncting your natal sun all week long. But for most of you, it will pass by the 4th or 5th. Conjunction to Venus makes you kind of naturally charismatic, focused on your beauty, focused on your aesthetic, have a kind of natural grace about you. It could also mean, though, that you are overindulgent, over luxurious, especially since Venus is square to Jupiter right now. A sense of overeating or overindulging can be very, very easy for you guys right now. Be aware. And then we have a long-term, go back. We also have a sextile to Mercury by the 4th of this week. So those of you born around, I would say, the 11th or 12th are going to really feel that sextile to Mercury. Opportunities to say something surprising, because it's going to be you guys on the 4th of June. Mercury and Uranus are perfectly conjunct. So it's going to be you guys whose birthdays are around the 11th that are going to feel the intensity, and it's going to open up major opportunities for you guys especially. So something surprising comes your way, learning something new. It challenges your norms, but it's exciting, and it opens up opportunities. You might even say something that opens up opportunities that surprise you that it went that way. So this could be a very good day for you, beneficial and progressive day for you. All week long, you guys are going to be sextile to Uranus. Uranus is at 20 degrees Taurus. Those of you born toward the beginning of the 3rd decade, so I would say between, I guess, the 11th and the 14th, somewhere around there, are going to be feeling this most intensely right now. This is just sort of like brilliance and getting to know your odd parts and not wanting to be predictable or going against the norm, but opportunities to challenge yourself in that way. It's quite clever and tricky, but it'll open up doors for you. And then we have, or doors will open up in surprising places. These are opportunities, and that's really gonna stay with you for the next year or so, because Uranus moves really slow too, so expect the unexpected. Long term, also trying to Neptune, which is beautifully creative energy, beautifully creative, so you may surprise yourself, and this is a wonderful time for you to be just designing, creating, allowing yourself to imagine or dream and turning it into something productive, especially when used with technology, because you do have that long-term sextile going on for you as well. All right, let's do this. Let's wrap it up and go over to Born Without Boundaries to watch your week ahead tarot card reading. But before you do, please subscribe to this channel. Help this channel grow. Let people know about it. I would love to have more people in this to see this channel grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye, Cancer.